You know what's worse than getting hit in the face? Getting hit in the face while you're completely gassed out. If you can't keep up the pace, your skills don't matter, your power doesn't matter. The guy with the better endurance will break you. But here's the good news, you can build a gas tank that practically never empties. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to develop fight-specific endurance, the kind that lets you push the pace, drown your opponents, and break their will. We're going to break this down into 4 sections, so by the end, you'll know exactly how to build your own elite conditioning protocol. Let's go. Stage 1. Know where you're at and what you need. Before we get into programming, where are you at right now? If you're sucking wind after one hard round but can deadlift 500 pounds, you need more endurance work. If you can run a 16-minute 5K, but you're getting tossed around like a rag doll, you need less running, more strength work. Your sport and goals matter too. A state champion wrestler needs a different gas tank than someone taking recreational boxing classes. So, before you go all in, be honest with yourself. What's your biggest weakness? That's where your focus should be. Hey, if you're getting value from this, do me a quick favor, smash that like button and hit subscribe. That's hands down the best way to support this channel, and make sure you don't miss my next video. If you haven't already, watch my previous video on building insane strength. It goes hand in hand with this one. All right, let's get back to it. Stage 2, understanding energy systems. If you don't understand how endurance works, you'll end up training the wrong way. Let's keep this simple. Your body uses 2 primary energy systems. One is the aerobic system. Think of this as your gas tank. It's long-lasting, low-intensity, oxygen-based energy. The stronger this is, the faster you can recover between bursts of effort. 2 is your anaerobic system. This is high-intensity, short-duration energy. It fuels explosive movements like a sprint, hard scramble, or a bunch of punches, but it burns out fast. Here's what most combat athletes get wrong. Even in an all-out fight, your aerobic system is always working in the background to help you recover between bursts of effort. So, if your aerobic base is weak, you'll gas out faster, period. So how do we build both systems? 2 types of training. Aerobic training, or zone 2 training, keeps your heart rate in the right range and builds long-lasting endurance. Anaerobic training, which includes stuff like high intensity and threshold work, trains your ability to explode repeatedly. Most people skip the aerobic work and just go hard all the time. That's why they stagnate. Let's fix that. Stage 3, training format. Step 1 is a base building phase. Unless you already have high-level endurance, and spoiler alert, you probably don't, you need to start with 8 weeks of aerobic work. That means steady state cardio, at least 1 hour per session with a maximum of 3 hours. Anything beyond that has diminishing returns. Keep your heart rate in zone 2. I'll explain how to track that in a second. Yes, this means jogging. I know. Fighters love to say, I don't need to run, I just need to train hard. That's why you gas out in round 2. Step 2 after our base building phase is to use the 80-20 rule. Once you've built an aerobic base, your conditioning should be 80% aerobic, 20% anaerobic. Why? Because fighting is mostly sub-maximal effort. You're not throwing full power punches for 25 minutes. Whether you're fighting, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, you're pacing, recovering, and exploding when necessary. So if you're already training hard sparring, wrestling, or rolling regularly, you're already getting anaerobic work. That means the biggest game changer for you is going to be adding more steady state cardio. Step 3, low carb training for extra endurance gains. Want to take it a step further? There's evidence that training some of your aerobic sessions in a low carb state improves muscular adaptations. This is a strategy used by world-class endurance athletes, including Zach Bitter, who I first learned about this from on Joe Rogan. Zach Bitter, in case you don't know, holds the current world record for the fastest 100-mile race, where he held an average pace of 6 minutes and 47 seconds per mile, which is insane. To do this, basically you're going to do 30 to 50% of your aerobic sessions with low glycogen stores, so basically fasted or having very little carbs in your system. For example, doing keto the day before. Stage 4, heart rate zones and program design. The easiest way to make sure you're training correctly is to track your heart rate using a heart rate monitor during workouts to make sure you're training at the right intensity. There are 2 ways to calculate your heart rate zones. The first is to use an online Carbonin formula calculator, which I've linked in the description. The second is to do a threshold test, like the Joe Friel protocol. So you warm up for 15 minutes, mixing jogging and sprints, take a little rest, and then you're going to run as hard as possible for 30 minutes. Your average heart rate during that session is your threshold rate. Then you're going to plug that number into a zone calculator. Okay, so how do you program your cardio plan? Well, like I said earlier, your protocol depends on your goals and weaknesses. You've got the options between a 2-day template, a 3-day template, and a 4-day template. Here's an example of a 2-day template for hobbyists or strength-focused athletes. Here's an example of a 3-day template for guys who need to balance strength and conditioning. And here's an example of a 4-day template for bigger guys or guys who gas out fast. All right, so what about 2-a-days? Here's the rule. If you're training twice in one day, make sure the second workout is steady state cardio. Do not do a high intensity session as your second workout. It'll mess with your strength adaptations. The last thing to touch on is specificity. When you're choosing specific sessions for steady state, high intensity, or threshold work, as long as you stay in the right zones, you can technically do different things. Jogging is the most reliable for aerobic work and my #1 recommendation for that, but if you can stay in zone 2 and track it while drilling takedowns, go for it. For base building though, stick to jogging. Your threshold work will be done through sparring rounds. Think multiple rounds of 5 to 10 minutes with rest periods of 1 to 5 minutes between, and high intensity work can be done through sprints, execution drills, etc. In the future, I'll show you some specific workouts for each category, but for now, we're gonna get back to learning high-level wrestling techniques. You now have everything you need to build an elite gas tank, but let's be real. Most people won't do this. Most people will keep making excuses and keep gassing out in fights. Are you gonna be different? Are you actually gonna do this? Drop a comment below and let me know your biggest weakness, strength or endurance, and then get to work. That's all for this one, guys. If you took something away from this video, give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe so you don't miss my future uploads. If there's something you want me to cover in the future, drop me a line below in the comments and let me know. I love hearing from you guys. I'll see y'all in the next one. As always, thanks for watching and good luck training.